Alright y'all, it is time for a new video. This one is going to be called Watering the Garden. Hopefully this is going to be a series of videos where I can discuss some sundry topics for everyone, or topics that just wouldn't make the feature length videos, I suppose. So what are we going to be discussing today? Well, Guenther was sacked, so I suppose I might as well give my thoughts on that, and various people believe things are moving in various ways off the back of that. And I don't quite believe things are moving in that way. So I'm going to discuss that. The calendar has been announced. Well, it was announced a while ago, but the calendar being announced did cause a stir, so I suppose I'm going to be discussing some of that. And I've got to make some other notes on things. But anyway, let's get this started. So, why was Guenther sacked? Well, very simply, the canon reason that he was sacked is because he finished last in the constructors, and his gambit on his two preferred drivers turned out to not be as charitable as having a baby Schumacher in the car. I mean, all the same, his pick of drivers, they racked up as much, if not more, of a damage bill than baby Schumacher did. So Guenther's gambit there didn't work out. But what has Guenther actually lost out on here? He's been sacked, he's finished last in the constructors. I don't believe the car was so bad that it should be finishing last in the constructors. So what exactly has happened to Guenther here? Allegedly, he's missed out on the Schumacher effect. Now, what is the Schumacher effect? The Schumacher effect is not only by sacking baby Schumacher has Guenther lost out on various sponsor money, right? Whatever damage bill baby Schumacher racked up, his own sponsors no doubt covered it. With a Kevin Magnussen and a Nico Hülkenberg, they're just not gonna have the Schumacher effect, the Schumacher sponsors. And you know, there's other layers to this. I started this off with allegedly, so there's other layers to this. I.e., his sponsors can buy him results. Yes, baby Schumacher's sponsors can buy him results. His sponsors can buy him drives. What do I mean by that? I mean they can he's an MK asset, right? So they can actually sanction it that he will drive above his level for the next 2 Grand Prix or what have you. Someone got to pay for it, that's all. And one of his sponsors will pay for it. And let me tell you what, that happened a few times. That happened a few times during the 2022 season, where a baby Schumacher performed above his level, where a baby Schumacher secured a result that he probably wasn't supposed to. And that is the Schumacher effect. And that is what Guenther Steiner has missed out on. And that has cost him his job. Now, Guenther, he should be smarter. He should know. He should have known. He should have known. Me, I'm just a layman. I'm just a layman. I'm just Joe Public. It's not rocket science that by sacking baby Schumacher, well, you're not going to get some of the results that will be tied with a baby Schumacher, because the sponsors ain't there. If you want to keep it above board, no occult knowledge, well, the team had less money on account of not having a baby Schumacher. What does that mean? Less upgrade packages, less moments of peak performance. People are going to say Williams were resurgent. Oh, look, Williams did a thing. No one expected that. Oh, McLaren did a thing. Oh, no one expected that. Well, the Haas was the white Ferrari just last season, was it not? Anyway, Guenther, he's been sacked. And off the back of that, and off the back of Guenther being sacked, various people, various commentators this way, that, and this way and that way, are now of the belief that Andretti are coming in to buy the team from Eugene Haas. Now, this doesn't fit for me. I mean, Andretti could very well buy the team from Haas, and not particularly fussed with how this pans out. But I just don't see it as likely. I just don't see it as the likely scenario. I mean, surely the team is worth more in a sale if Guenther Steiner is there. If Eugene Haas is going to sell the team, regardless of whatever result Guenther Steiner has gotten, he is a personality on Drive to Survive. So, if you're going to sell the team, and, well, the new team owner is going to have Guenther there, and Guenther is going to connect the viewing audience with the team, well, that's worth his pay package right there. On account of the coverage Guenther gets on this Drive to Survive thing, your team gets coverage, your team gets over with the public. It makes more sense to keep Guenther if Eugene Haas is really thinking of selling the team. So I just don't see him selling the team. That's a weird one to me. I don't see it happening. Could it happen? Sure, absolutely. I just don't see it as likely. But anyway, I gotta make a quick note of this. Bernie has decided to say that he wants to Lewis Hamilton to get the 8th. This is for another video, because quite frankly, at present, I don't know what the fuck Bernie's doing with this. I don't know if he is experiencing some mortality salience, and he wants to try and make things right with his maker before he has to meet his maker. Who knows? Who the hell knows, quite frankly. You see, another thing about these elites, and there's levels to elites, of course, but when you're at Bernie's level, right? When you're at the level of a Bernie Eccleston, and you are aging, death come knocking a few times. A thing that these elites do is, because they are so obsessed with staying here in the physical, in the living. And who knows? Everyone's scared of death, but no doubt the sins these men have done, they don't wash with death. So they try to stave off death as much as they can. These guys do the wildest thing. Never mind the adrenochrome and all of that, right? There's a day for that. There's a day for that. There's a video for that somewhere in the future. But these guys do things like they get heart transplants that they're not supposed to get. They don't have no heart disease or none of this, but they end up getting heart transplants, and they end up jumping the queue on these transplant lists and what have you, if they get good matches. Who's this Rothschild that died either last year or 2 years ago, what have you? He was actually scheduled for another heart transplant. I'm not sure how many heart transplants he had by that point. I believe it was 2, maybe 3. But he was scheduled for another one. The reason they do that is to extend their life, because, well, they're obsessed with life extension. They're absolutely terrified of death. If heaven and hell exist, they know they're going to hell. And even if not, like I said, the sins that they have committed in this life just will not wash with death. So, you know, is Bernie experiencing some mortality salience? Who knows? Who knows? He very well may be. Next thing he gonna become philanthropic. Next thing he gonna become philanthropic and start donating money, but who the hell knows? But otherwise, it's either that or this is open communications with the apparatus, and he's saying, all right, it's all good to give him the 8th now, and whatever that so entails, be it a paradigm shift in the sport or in the society or what have you. Or heck, Cthulhu, his damn self, might come out of the ground when Sir Lewis Hamilton wins his 8th championship, for all I fucking know. Who knows? But, well, whatever Bernie's doing, I don't know what he's doing. There's another video for him, but at present, I don't know what he's doing. There's too many things it could be. There's far too many things it could be. Never mind the few things that I've mentioned here, the 2 things that I've mentioned here. But I digress. Alright, so I said I would talk about the calendar. 24 Grand Prix season is what has been lined up, and various superstar drivers like your Fernando Alonso and your Maximilian Verstappen are threatening to retire off the back of this. Well, why is that? Because the season's too much. There's just simply too many events in the damn season. It's difficult keeping up with the season as a content creator. It's difficult keeping up with the season as just a viewer. And that was back when we still just had 21 Grand Prix or something. Never mind being the content, right? If you are the content, you are the F1 driver as well. Believe it or not, the F1 drivers actually have the easiest job. Or let me not even say the easiest job, but they have the least time at the venue, at the circuit. They just have to show up and drive the car. It's the rest of the personnel that keep the circus running. And it's those personnel in the back in particular that are braking. It's the pit crews that are coming up a cropper with the calendar and all of that. So the teams are now floating the idea for Team A, Team B for a garage personnel, as it were. And I mean, they can do that. Here's the thing with doing that. We're in a budget cap era. Something's going to have to give. I'm not here to try fuck up nobody's money. Alright, let's get that right. I'm not here to fuck up anybody's money. But something's going to have to give. And if this Team A, Team B thing happens, then various people's salaries and wages are going to be halved. I tell you what. Some people are not going to be getting paid what they used to getting paid. But well, that is if that is a solution that is actually taken. The other solution they have is to actually solve the calendar as far as its logistical flow chain goes and stop this globe hopping from one side of the planet to the other. That's another option. But I don't see them doing that. Why don't I see them doing that? Because that would mean that the closing segment of the calendar would have to happen on one particular continent. And I could see them picking America. Would that upset the Middle East? I don't know. Or perhaps the Middle East would throw so much money at it that the final Grand Prix of the season are Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Baku, and what have you. But well, that is an option. But that's a risky option. Right, solving the logistical flow chain of the season so that you're not jumping from time zone to time zone. So what, this season would start with the Australasia segment, then move into like a Middle East segment or what have you. Or they could turn right, who knows? And it starts in Australasia and then moves over to the Americas, who knows? But while that is an option, a most unlikely option, but an option. And the third option is to just cap the calendar at 20 Grand Prix. Seems sensible to me, so I just don't see it happening. You can have some rotating Grand Prix. No, you don't have to host an F1 race every damn year, you know. Anyway, some venues would still be hosting the Grand Prix every year, and it would no doubt cause a stir or something. I don't know. People get upset over wild things nowadays. This is now being talked about because this would have been talked about earlier, but the San Marino Grand Prix got flooded out. FOM is lucky it got flooded out. They are very lucky that it got flooded out, I tell you what. Because this would have been talked about already in depth. And they would have had to actually account for that when decision making for current season. They would have already had to fucking deal with this shit. But yeah, the F1, as has been said before on this channel, it is a testing bed of this society. Because in the F1, we get to see what happens when the human body is pushed to its limits. Even what happens when engineering is pushed to its limits. Within a rule set, of course. And while some of the bodies are breaking, well, I say some, from the reports from drivers, it's a lot of the bodies are breaking. I.e., a lot of team personnel are in the doctor's office trying to get some sort of medication to get them through the season because their body starts breaking down, hopping from time zone to time zone and having to do all the heavy lifting to keep this F1 circus going. It's like a duck, right? It's like a duck. You see the duck on the surface of water and it looks graceful, serene. It's gliding across the damn water. Damn, look at this. Is this bird even working? That's what you see on Sunday. That's the Sunday experience. That's the duck or the goose just swimming in the lake. You look underneath, and what's happening in the garages when the circus is over. You look underneath and there's this goose or duck is pedaling for its fucking life with those legs. Pedaling for its motherfucking life. There is no wasted action. Everything must have maximal energy input. Everything must be precise. Everything must be measured. It's high energy. And, well, that's what's going on in the back, keeping this circus moving. You see all the trucks at the back of the garages? All the team trucks? Well, there's more team trucks than that, but, well, they gotta load that shit up and move it on to the next Grand Prix. Every Grand Prix. And as you add more fucking Grand Prix to the fucking calendar, well, well, something's gonna break. And the first thing that will break is the people, and the people are indeed starting to break. So when the drivers are threatening to retire off the fucking state of the calendar, well, what are the personnel in the back who don't actually get voices actually feeling? Who knows? Who the fuck knows? Well, the drivers know, and they've aired it. But at this point, it's even taxing for the drivers who've got the easiest job of the weekend. But anyway, yeah, that should be the video. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Peace.
Hell breezy. Let me show you how to keep the dice rolling when you're doing that thing over there. Hey. Let's go! Cause I'm feeling like I'm running and I'm feeling like I gotta get away. Better know that I don't and I won't ever stop. Cause you know I gotta win every day. Go! See, you really wanna pop me. Go! Just know that you will never flop me. And I know that I gotta be a little cocky. Go! You ain't never gonna stop me. Every time I come a nigga gotta set it, then I gotta go, and then I gotta get it, then I gotta blow, and then I gotta shut it. Any little thing a nigga think that he be doing, cause it doesn't matter, cause I'm gonna dead it. Then I'm gonna murder everything and anything about it. Boom, about a bing. I gotta do a lot of things to make it clearer to a couple niggas that I always win, and then I gotta get it again and again and again. And I be doing it to death, and now I move a little foul. Nigga better call a rap, and everybody know my style. Niggas know that I'm the best when it come to doing this, and I be banging on my chest, and I bang in the east, and I banging in the west, and I come to give you more, and I will never give you less. You will hear it in the street, and you can read it in the press. Do you really wanna know what's next? Let's go. See the way we on it, and we all up in the race, and you know we gotta go now try to keep up with the pace, and we struggling and hustling and set it and get it, and